Thiruvan Saranai Arana Hansa. Thiruvan Saranai, everyone. Welcome to our English Zoom sessions. The ignorance about defilements is what keeps us going on this samsara. Pleasure or defilements means suffering. While being in samsara, you always tend to look for pleasure, enjoyment, and happiness. As long as you believe that this external world is true, you will wish to be born again. The reason for this is because you believe that happiness and enjoyment is in the people and things that you see outside. This false belief that there is a world outside is the illusion and defilements. Not knowing this truth is the defilement of ignorance, avidya, asrava. You know, Lord Buddha has preached a non-solved Dhamma, the dependent origination Dhamma. Now, our Buddhotpada Dhamma friend will be talking about this non-solved Dhamma. Thiruvan Saranai.
May Triple James bless you all. First of all, I would like to pay my humble homage to our noble teacher, Buddhotpada Arana, and also our main advisor. Today also, I would like to share one of my experience with you. I want to tell you all the experiences I gained during my lifestyle because I don't want to preach Dhamma because we have a noble teacher, right? I wanted to tell you the difference between now and the past, how I lived and how I am living now. That is the most important thing you have to remember, because earlier I didn't know anything about the formation of mind, even though I saw a lot of paths. So, at Nibbana, I use different methods, right? But these methods didn't give me a correct answer. Most of the time, I realize I have sufferings, I have sorrow, but sometimes no peace in my mind. When trouble comes, I face many difficulties, right? But I could not manage to console my mind fully because I was there. Because those days I was thinking I am the one facing this trouble there because of other people, because of other matters. In between, I took decisions. Many decisions I have taken according to the different situations. But I couldn't find the real happiness, even though I did, and I took several steps to overcome my trouble. To a certain limit, it has come down, the sorrow which I had in my mind, but time to time, it appears. The problems came to my mind. Then I had a struggle. After few years, some of the problems I severely uh, faced, severely affected to me. The thoughts which I had with those people would not stop me of having a burden in my mind. Always the burden came to my mind. Then what I did was I forgot about that feeling. I did something else to forget the thought which I am suffering. So it is not the path. That is not the way of living according to the Lord Buddha said. Right? When I am working with monks and nuns, I have so many troubles because they can't understand what I'm telling. But I wanted to know. There were some arguments even, right? So I wanted to know something more than what they say. I question with them. But correct answer didn't come from them. Again, I suffered. Why these monks and nuns can't understand what I want to know? They give me a lot of methods in samatha and some other methods to overcome, but it won't work out. It wouldn't work out. Years and years I wanted to find out the real truth. Even though I'm doing a job, I was doing a job. I think every day what was Buddha said. This is not the correct path that I'm following now. I had many troubles when I was doing samatha. More than 10 years I practiced samatha. From there, in the monastery, the monk said, this is how we have to do with darshana. That means take one part of the body and examine Satara Mahadhatu, Patavi Apo Tejo, which consists of, right? Hours and hours I took many parts of the body and concentrate on these methods. According to their path, I followed. So finally, I really got fed up because I understood there is Sankara. There are Sankara. I am making each and every moment. Then I asked from the monks even, it is not the way because I do Sankara without doing Sankara. How can we think like this? How can we concentrate on our body? We do Sankara. It is not the way of Visankara. Right? But they couldn't understand what I said, right? They said, no, you have to concentrate only that part. That means your mind is not going here and there. You can consider, you can have samatha because your mind is not running after the thoughts, right? Only one factor you have to consider. That means kind of samatha, right? But finally, I realized no, this is not the method what I wanted to know. Then I stopped doing it. I didn't go to that monastery, right? Because my mind is always find out the reality. I know I am here. There is the outside world. I have troubles with them because I always question from them, right? Then what? Finally, I thought no need of having an argument. Then I stayed at home. According to Ajahn Brahma also, I heard so I tried to find out the reality. I practiced the methods which that monk said, right? I heard that there are summons, sometimes online, right? There are some factors that is also important, right? Then I did Anapanasati. When the mindfulness comes, I thought, this is the way of attaining Nibbana because in Sinhala, Aloka Nimitta. Because when I was doing concentrate on Anapanasati, that means breathing, because I have already practiced it now, then that Aloka Nimitta, the mindfulness is always with me. Then again, according to my previous experiences, I take one of the part of the Buddhism, which I learned earlier, then I think this is how it happens. This is how it happens. Like that, again, I'm thinking inside. Right? Hours and hours I did so. For a certain limit of time, it was okay, right? It was okay. Some feelings they come up at once. Anger slowly went down. Agitation, temptation slowly controlled. Then I thought, that path is suitable for me because earlier part I understood when the situation changes, my anger, my sorrow comes out at once. Therefore, I gave up that method. According to the Brahma Mansitero, I I usually hear the one Samantha day, one or two, right? That monk was really interesting, right? Because I went to BMI stage twice when that monk came to Sri Lanka. Right? I was so happy when I heard the news that monk is coming to Sri Lanka. So I never missed that chance to go and meet the monk and get the advices which Unwanse says. 2, 3 years went like that. I have a little comfort in my mind because I thought I am gradually go on a correct path. Right? I thought like that. But suddenly it has changed. Again, I have a struggle with my mind. Because I had to face another kind of situation, right? So in that situation, I couldn't manage to get rid of my mind, and sorrow came again. Unhappy was in my mind. Again, I thought this path also have a problem. But I used to do meditation 2-3 hours per day. During that time, I didn't go to any monastery, only for the temple, only Sunday and for some full moon Friday. I visited, right? I never visited a temple so without any reason. Only that special occasions on I went to the temple and worship and come, right? Then I try to find any summons in YouTube. Then I listen Abhidhamma Deshana in different ways, right? There were two monks. They explain Rupa Kalapa. Then I got a chance to learn how it has formed, the Rupa Kalapa. What I did was, after learning that Abhidharma part, again I meditated. Then I was thinking what it was, right? I took one part and I closed my eyes and sat on the floor and I'm memorizing like that I did, right? Again, the next day I listened to another part. Then I had a short notebook. Then I wrote down each and every lessons what I wanted to know. Then I go through the note and try to learn something from that. Later on, the explanation, Javansit, I couldn't understand anything even, right? It was so hard to understand. And what I did was, I asked our temple monk, Swaminasa, can I have a small, brief explanation of Abhidhamma about the formation of mind? That monk gave me a book with his explaining in a simple way the Javansi. Then I read the book. The mind was confused. I couldn't understand anything. Then I tried to understand Renukana Chandravimala Thero. I couldn't understand anything. Again, I was unhappy. Why can't I understand this concept? Then I tried to learn it by heart. All I did to get knowledge. I didn't get a single wisdom from those methods. Right? I didn't get any single signals of wisdom. I got knowledge only, right? Then I heard that Samucheda Prahana, Vishkambara Prahana, like that. I read that part even, right? Then I tried to memorize those things, sitting on the floor and closing my eyes, and memorized these things. This is how it happens. This is what that monk said, right? Only, only the knowledge I analyze it. Through the knowledge, I analyze each and every part, right? I thought, okay, then I have a small idea about uh, Kusalsit, Takusalsit. I try to avoid to do Akusal. And I was, when I was doing my work, I didn't get, I try to not to get angry, not to have an argument with friends, and I kept my mouth shut even though they are arguing different for different matters. Then I had a control over my mind and thoughts, and I thought little by little it was the method to overcome akusal. To a certain level, I was happy because I thought I'm good now. I'm better now, better than earlier. I have a control over my mind and over my thoughts, over my feelings, and I can tackle with the people somehow rather than earlier. And when I am exposed to the environment and the society, I feel little comfort, little relaxation with working with them. Normally, I won't shout at them, and I keep my mouth shut, and I become silent when I wanted to, right? But inside, there's no silence. Have a big struggle. Why these people can't understand why they are doing such mad things, why they can't do their work in a proper way. Like that, I'm thinking every time. Only inside, but I didn't show up that for the others. I normally talk with them as usual, right? So when I was teaching for my students, I followed the same methods when I was teaching them. I taught them with my maximum potential, right? But they learn it, right? They learn it, and when they ask questions, I explain them. But inside, I was not happy with some students because they don't want to study. They didn't want to study, and they're just playing and doing unnecessary things in the school. I was so worried about those students, and I was thinking why these students can't understand the importance of the education, right? I paid my attention more than the others only for those students. I arranged some classes, extra classes, and I did my maximum, right? They were happy about me, and I was so happy about them. Somehow, they got through their exam. Only one or two get simple passes. Because when I was teaching O levels and A levels, it was so heavy. I had a hard time because not like government school, we have big responsibilities over the school, over the parents and the students and the management, right? We are afraid of it, right? Even though students are weak, they won't it was not the excuse for us. Somehow we wanted to get good results from each and every student, right? That is because they are management levels are like that, right? Only no excuses at all, right? But I manage with them. I explain each and every student. This is how they have worked. This is how they have performed in their monthly test and term test like that. I had a records for each and every student. Then I have excuse. This is what they are going to get. Like that, I said for them. It might be changed, but generally, these are the things I wanted to tell you according to analyzing each and every student performances like that. That is also a very big struggle for us, right? I got fed up with the school sometimes because they can't understand the capability of the student. 50% with the teacher and 50% up to them, right? They can't understand, right? Because they want to become the big school popularity. They are popular schools are like that, right? No excuses, right? Only for very good reason, except only for very good reason. They do a lot of actions against the teachers, right? That is also a burden for us. Because when the exam time comes, we just have to work hard. Actually, I do my best for each and every. I did my I I'm today even I do my best for everyone. Those days also I did my best for each and every student. They were very friendly with me because I never do favoration for any parents or for any students, right? I do my job, that's it. That's it, right? When I want to tell something, directly saying this is how your son or your daughter has performed, and somehow he has to. Your responsibility, you have to do like that. I did. I just imagine these past experiences. I said every time what I did, the perception of me, myself, I am, and outside world. I was thinking, I was dealing with outside world. I have to be very careful when I am doing my work, right? Somehow I want to get the happiness, even though the job is the main important thing for me, right? Then I try to get happiness when I was doing my job. If there is no happiness, why should I do this? Because I have no salvation from my mind. Only for certain limit of time I have happiness. Again it will vanish. It is changing. The world became true for me. Why? I didn't know. There is no outside world. It is only a thought of me. I didn't know any single thing. What I did was, when I come home, I do meditation and forget about these thoughts and get relaxation. Right? I did Metta Bhavana, Karuna Bhavana meditation. I learned from some monks and the nuns. I thought I did those. I practice those methods each and every day when I have free time, right? Finally, I gave up my jumping on ground. Then I have time. Then I spend most of the time doing some other because I thought there is a world. I am living that world. Somehow I want to get the satisfaction. My satisfactory level is very low sometimes. Sometimes it is very high. Sometimes it is neutral, right? How can I keep my satisfaction at the highest level? I was thinking like that, right? It is changing. No, why? I don't know why. Because of the other people outside world, I lose my happiness. I thought like that, right? So sad, right? I was thinking, days and days, months and months, years and years. How can I get rid of my mind? I thought the first idea which I had, I thought when we can control our mind without coming thoughts. I thought like that. Maybe like that it is Nibbana. I didn't know a single thing. The mind is a sensor. Nobody told me, right? Nobody taught me even, right? I didn't have any single idea of how these five senses are working. Formation, form, right? I didn't know the skin is a sensor. I didn't know the eye is a sensor. I didn't know the ear is a sensor, right? I didn't know the mind is a sensor. I thought the entire body is me. I am the one living inside the body. I am the one teaching. I am the one scolding. I am the one arguing. I am the one getting happiness, being happy. I am the one being unhappy. Like that I thought. Because I was inside. But what Buddha said, there is no person inside, right? But my mind says, there's a person inside. According to the Dhamma, there is no person. I had a doubt. How could it happen? I thought, how could it happen? I was so afraid. After that, where would I go? When that feeling comes, I was shivering even. I don't know what will happen to me when in next birth. But I knew I won't go to hell because I didn't know I haven't done anything wrong. Because of that, now I want to continue my meditation to avoid go to hell. That feeling I had, just imagine how I thought, right? I was living in an illusory world, Now only I feel that imaginary world makes me mad. That madness which I had earlier is uncontrollable. Everything became true. There's a person who is the one doing everything. I'm the one doing everything. I can see, I can talk, I can walk. I can eat, I can enjoy, I can try, I can jump, I can go here and there, I can teach, I'm the teacher, right? Like that I thought. So it is so sad, right? No salvation, the image of myself. I didn't have that. No escape from that. No escape at all. I always that's the outside, but I did everything with those two extremes. That is why I couldn't get real happiness during that time. No happiness. There was happiness, but it vanished when situation changes. Can we say it's a real happiness? No. I knew the real happiness was not like that, but I couldn't find it out, right? The real happiness was not like that. I thought I cried inside. Why can't I understand this? What was Buddha said? I didn't know about it. No one is going to help me. Is there any monk or nun in this world to get the solution of my problem? When that feeling comes again, I was so worried and I was afraid of being that feeling, with that feeling, right? Restless mind I had. But there was a person who always be with me. He said, nothing to worry, Akka. You have one day you will get to know the real Dhamma. Till then, you have to wait patiently. When the right time comes. Till then, you do your things as usual. And don't get upset with your feelings. One day you might hear only two words. On that day, you will realize the truth. That then I had a passion because of that too. I trusted that word, that idea. Every day I'm talking with that person who was very close to me, like my brother. Like, he consoled my mind. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't run here and there. You will definitely get a real Dhamma, right? Then I shared my experiences with some of monks. From that, even I had chat hours and hours. I explained what I experienced in Samatha. That monk also sharing ideas which he had. And there are also some arguments, some facts I couldn't agree with that, but I didn't say anything. But I said, but I can't agree with these things. That is not the way. Like that, I said that. That's only, but I didn't argue because he was the monk, right? I was listening only, right? Then I passed more than 5 years like that. I gave up my job because I wanted to find out the real Dhamma. Then my parents and my sisters and brothers also said, "But you're not doing a job." I said, "Don't worry. I can have something into my stomach. I have water, I have shelter, I have clothes. Somehow I want to find the real Dhamma." This is the I wanted to end this life. This is the last birth I wanted to end, right? I want to end it. I don't want to go it forever. Continue it. That idea I had, it cannot be erased even, right? It was a strong feeling I had, right? Then I talk with some people. I go to different places, and I enjoy the feeling with those areas. Some feelings came to my mind, but I don't want to tell you all. I don't want to explain these things. When I go to some place, I felt it. This is how it has happened. The relationship with me, right? Then I used to go visit some places, the cultural places, right? Then I felt this is how it has happened. This is how it has built like that feeling. I had these experiences even, right? Like that I spend my time, right? One day, that means 4 years back, I met Arana and I contact Arana, and then Arana told me the words, the sound, and the color is the main factors the formation of mind. I don't know. I didn't know where I was even. I was so happy. I knew it. No, why couldn't I realize this? Why couldn't I get the relationship, the formation of mind? That is true, no. Why I was doing such mad things? Why couldn't I understand? I was so happy, right? That one of my friend, I told you, I called him. I got the correct part. I heard the two words: sounds and color makes your mind. The most important two factors, right? Other factors also there are. Why can't I understand this? Why couldn't I understand this? I know these things. No, I know only sound, but color I didn't touch it. I didn't touch. I was so happy. Then I was continuing calling our advancer, and I slowly learned Dhamma by asking question over the Zoom. Those days we didn't have Zoom. Over the phone, I talked with our advancer. Right. Then I was successful. I was happy, right? Then I slowly, little by little, my false idea was damaged by our advancer with strong words in Dhamma. I wanted to tell you the Satya Jnana, the formation of your, without knowing the real method of creation of your mind. You cannot escape from your mind. Right? It appears as a knowledge, right? First time, right? It appears as a knowledge by passing time. When we hear this through Dhamma over and over again, one day there's a point your mind will say that is completely correct. That is not knowledge. That is the wisdom you have created. Not you are created, it comes automatically. Right? When the wisdom appears, your false idea will get away from you little by little. Understand it. Right? Try to understand the clear picture of the senses, 5 senses, especially this mind sensor. That is the main issue we are having, right? Somehow we get tangled with the feelings we are having, right? That's the nature, right? Because we know those days the nature is my nature is not like that now. Now only we know there is no mind even. Only we work with only with 5 senses. That is also a system. It has paths and nobody can control it. It is a system only, right? Try to learn it, how the system works, right? I told you, then your wisdom will appear like the moon appears after covering it with dark clouds. Then the moonlight will come, right? Little by little. Meaning the moon has covered with dark clouds, you won't be able to get the light of the moon, right? When you are practicing this true Dhamma, your wisdom will appear, right? But it takes time. Don't worry, nothing to worry. According to person, it depends. My level is not your level. When I say my, it is not clear, but I want to communicate with you all. So these different kinds of level we are living in, right? Therefore, Satya Jnana is the first step in this Dhamma. Then you have to do something. You have to keep it in practice in Kutta Jnana. When you are go deep in your thoughts, you have to memorize it. I have gone through this feeling. No, this is only a feel, right? This is only a thought. Like that, you have to contemplate, right? That is your ability. That is your effort. If you are not taken an effort to memorize those things, I think it will be an obstacle to get the wisdom. It may take time. It may take time. It doesn't matter. When Sakti Jnana is clear and clear, getting clear and clear, the wisdom will appear at the other side, the lower level, inside level, right? The wisdom nobody can cheat you, or nobody can turn you when your wisdom appears. Not your wisdom, actually it is the system when your feelings become so smooth that wisdom automatically generating, right? You will feel it. Then you can live with the feel, not with the thought, right? Feeling, when you live with the feel and the thought is a different ways. Feel is not the thought. You will be able to understand when you are in that, coming to in that position. Because it is hard to explain in words. Feel is not the thought. When you think something, it is not the feel. You feel it. It comes automatically. It is in the upper level, lower level, inside layer. It is another layer like that. I have more. I cannot explain it, right? Feel. When you live with the feel, when you are experienced with the feel, your mind become very calm because the world is not becoming true. You know this not the correct thing. This is only a thought. There is no outside world. There is no myself, right? This is only a thought. Why should I get stuck with the thought? Like that, it comes, right? So I want to tell you all in this discussion, try to understand the importance of Satya Jnanaya. It is so the fundamental thing in this part. When you are free from your thought, you can do what you want without any trouble. When you are getting trouble, at once you know this is how it happens, right? You are free from, you can get rid of your thought or feel, not feel, of your thought. You are not going to get into deep, right? It is, you are not living in the fantasy world, right? You realize this is a fantasy. Now, we are not living with the fantasy sometimes only, right? Not entirely, because only Ratan was are free from fantasy, right? Right? You can gradually move on to the field, not with your thought. But remember, keep in mind, you do your usual things, and you can see as earlier, you can talk as earlier. Anything you do as usual, but not the way you lived in earlier. Because you are now aware of the formation of your mind, right? It is really important. The formation of your mind is a golden words which we have, which explained by Buddha Aryan Master. Therefore, to take your time and try to understand the importance of true Dhamma. Don't hesitate, ask any question from Arana or the others, those who are handling the Zoom, because they are nicely explaining you all and giving a solution of your troubles. This is very important. Have a discussion, because when we go on this path, go deep and deep on this path, yeah, we have to face. The problems are coming, right? Then we have to get the clear idea of the problems. That is the nature, right? Don't hesitate. Ask question from anyone. You have to clear your doubts. If you have doubts, it will be a problem for you. Therefore, Satyajnane, Krutajnane, and Krutajnane means you feel it, right? Nothing to do. Avitakka vichara. You don't want to think Dhamma. It comes automatically, right? That is another stage in Krutajnana. I know there are a lot of people have this experience in your life. I'm so happy about it. And I wanted to say, you learn this Dhamma and you can compare your previous life and the life you are living in now, and you can have your own testimony, right? You can have your own testimony of your mind and your life pattern, right? So finally I wanted to say we are fortunate to have this era to hear to Dhamma, because I had so many troubles. Nobody told me, nobody explained me the correct Dhamma. I had so many struggles. Now, each and every day we can have talk with our advisor and the others to clear our doubts. Actually, we are fortunate. I'm so happy about it, right? To try to take the maximum out of this discussion and try to understand your feel and your thoughts and how it works. And one day you will feel comfort in your mind. Thank you for all. Again, I would like to pay my humble homage to Buddha Aryan Mahansa and Meherin Mahansa and all of you all. I'm going to conclude my discussion now. May triple gems bless you all.
Saranai. That's all for the day. Let me thank our Buddha Dhamma friend for her valuable speech. And thank you again for sharing your experience and knowledge with us. Therwan Sarnai, everyone.